Alright. Watchmen 1 through 12. 6 issues of this have never been opened or read or touched in any shape, way, or form. Protective mylar bags. They have plastic edges in case it's ever dropped, it doesn't bend, and the backing board is acid free and part of the book. That is what I would consider the #1 written comic ever. This book is perfect in my opinion. It's everything that you can do in a comic book to tell a story that you can't do anywhere else. Right. And of course we have a full set. Okay. Rorschach. The darkest story ever written in my opinion. Okay. Like I said. Alright. Mint condition. And I found that Watchmen over the years in dollar bins all over the place. I've sold a couple to my friends to help them out to get their collection going. And along with the Watchmen, I have quite a few extras here that I picked up. The Watchmen role-playing games. Alan Moore actually participated in one of these. Dave Gibbons did the covers. Of course, the Watchmen Wizards. I don't know if I have them all here. Big, yeah. The What Me parody that came out. Soft cover that I've carried around since 1989. Rated the toilet many times. The Amazing Heroes interviews. There's one of them. New material. These came out in the 80s. Great background stuff that you just don't really hear a lot of people talking about. Comic interview. This is the source book for the role-playing game that came out, and Alan Moore contributed to this to help expand it. There's little cool things in here, like when the comedian is in his apartment and you see the foot go through the door where somebody's getting ready to kill him, you actually see what he was doing sitting at the table that he's jumping up from, and you find out he's writing a letter to somebody. It's all in there in the background in the pages. Little files, expands on. Great reading. I've never played it as a role-playing game, but it really expanded on the villains, what was going on, some of the background. Not so much a nice read or as needed, but if you're a Watchmen completist, go ahead and grab it. Yeah, another wizard with Watchmen. Oh, we'll save this for a minute. And of course, the Watchmen companion to the movie. And we have the Absolute Edition. And when I moved away from my friends 2 years ago, they all got together and got this for me as a goodbye gift. So this book, they knew I liked the Watchmen, and the fact that Matt and Brennan and Nick and whoever else threw out money to get this for me, very, very touching. Great guys. Alright, what else do we have in here if you're still with me? Okay. Looks like we're getting some Frank Miller stuff. Of course, some Dark Horse comics. Frank Miller stuff. Hellboy stuff. Concrete. Number 100 is actually 5 different issues. Some Martha Washington, if they ended up reprinting somewhere. Mike Allred, Madman. Sin City, Predator Grendel. Sin City, the Babe Who Wore Red. This is actually a Christmas story, and apparently this was really celebrated, I guess, by people who are in the industry, because Frank Miller used a brush to ink the whole book or some other kind of technique. I don't want to belittle that, but you know, I guess if you're an artist, that's cool. Alright, The Big Fat Kill. Great story. It was in the Sin City movie. A Yellow Bastard. Great stuff. Okay. Lost, Lonely, and Lethal. Really great. I think it's a few short stories. Good stuff, of course. Ooh. Tales to Astonish. Came out in the 90s. I just feel like Alex Ross came out, and all of a sudden, let's have some more painted comics. Okay, Tales to Astonish with the Hulk and Hank Pym and the real Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. Strange Tales. Looks like it's the Human Torch, Doctor Strange, and the Thing. I want to say Kurt Busiek wrote one of these, but I don't really remember. Oh no! Alright. Now, it's not so much these books are worth a lot of money, but I absolutely loved Kevin Smith's run on the Green Arrow. And I really wished he'd gone more with this. He was sort of like some kind of urban hero, you know, grew his hair out long, found trash to make his arrows out of. It was only one panel, but it was great. Big bleach bottle, looked like it was full of cement or water he knocks a motor out with. Brought in the Black Manta. Quiver. Alright. I should have all these. You got little Jack Kirby demon in there. Hal Jordan as, of course, the Spectre. They all can't be winners, folks. Yep, meets his son. Stanley and his monster. Great stuff. His son. We got the liberal against the conservative. You know, just kind of cracks me up that, you know, politically these two are used in comics. Funny. Onomatopoeia. Kevin Smith. Matt Wagner covers. Oliver Queen. And of course, this is where, so for those of you, I forget that some people may not have read this stuff, but Green Arrow died, and this is where they brought him back, and Kevin Smith guaranteed it would make sense. It wouldn't be just, okay, they killed a character, let's bring him back because it's comics. That was the whole story. Brad Meltzer came on, the novelist, and I never heard of him, and he wrote a great story. He writes about lawyers and legalities, and this is following up. What does a hero do when he dies so that he still protects the loved ones? And he goes on a quest to find all sorts of things he left behind. And if you know anything about Green Arrow lore, we have the Arrow car, we have the truck that he and Hal Jordan rode in back in the 70s. He's trying to find an Arrow diamond, old arrows, and then it's Justice League certificate and all sorts of things. Oh, more Dark Force. Okay, Sin City. This is issue 53. I'm doing this for my purposes. This is the first Sin City story, and I need to know what to go back and buy. 54. Sin City and the Next Men. John Byrne's Next Men. 55. It says Dark Horse presents annual, but it's actually issue number 56. Some more Next Men, some more John Byrne. Marvel's First Date, some aliens. 57. And if you haven't read the story or seen the movie, close your eyes. Number 62, the last chapter. And that is an absolutely amazing, simple cover that I think I'm going to try to frame. John Byrne's 2112. And for you Kirby fans out there, and I know you're there, I just found this, The Hunger Dogs graphic novel by Kirby. Amazing, amazing stuff. I can go on a rant about the New Gods and people not realizing what was the big deal about Kirby at DC in the 70s, but I'll spare you. And Kirby was not just a block artist, he did a collage. He does several collages. These Kirby collages are really appreciated by his fans. I mean, this guy was just, he could do it all. Fantastic Four, number 44, protected of course, and it's interesting how I got this. I had a guy show up at my house about 12 years ago, big box of comics, trying to sell me stuff. And then he started looking around at my trades and stuff, and I had probably just bought a Preacher Volume 2 trade, Until the End of the World, for 45 cents out of a book club that, of course I didn't follow through on. And I traded him this for that. And I said, "Are you sure about this?" I started feeling guilty, and he said, "Not my comics." I didn't ask any questions. This thing is not mint, but there's nothing wrong with it except that it's a little discolored with age, and you can't really even tell until you really get close to it. Very proud of this. And that is box number 2. I appreciate you guys hanging around. Looks like it still took a little bit longer than last time. And I'll see you with box 3 probably about a week or so. Okay, bye-bye.